Hey guys, today we're going to see the top 5 features which are natively available on Ubuntu, and these may not be available in other operating systems like Windows and Mac. This is Arindam from Your Tech Inception, and let's get started. So the first option we'll see is renaming multiple files on Ubuntu or any Linux-based distro. So as you see, I have 4 files here, and what I want to do is rename these 4 files without individually going in selecting the rename option. So what I can do is Control A and then right click and simply click on rename. This will give you an option to rename a batch of files or bulk set of files. So as you can see, by default I have the original file name. Now what I can do is add a prefix to this. So I can put something as AA and I can put a suffix as BB. So the file1.txt kind of becomes AA file1BB. So like this, you can add any suffix and prefix to the particular file name and go and rename them. Now that is one neat trick to rename a batch of files. Let me do a Control Z. Now let me select and show the other option. Now instead of just adding a prefix and suffix, you can actually do a find and replace. So suppose as you see here, all my files have something called as file1, file2, file3 and file4. Now maybe instead of the file keyword, I prefer something as document keyword, right? And so now after rename, this file1 become document1. Now maybe I want to add a timestamp as well, so I can just put Jan 22, which is today's date. So this file1 becomes document Jan 22.1, and of course I can add an underscore, so it becomes document Jan 22 underscore the underscore 1 and then the extension. So I rename it and you're done. So that way you can batch rename a bulk set of files in Ubuntu. You can choose to find and replace a particular text within the file name, or you can simply add a prefix and a suffix. So that's number one. That's a bulk file rename feature on Ubuntu. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so the next option is how to filter files on Ubuntu. So Ubuntu provides a very neat trick if you want to search a particular file within a bunch of files or within a folder. As long as you know a certain part of the file name or any string which is part of the file name, you can easily search it. For example, in this particular downloads folder, I suppose want to just search Pop OS. So all I can do is, without doing any operations, all I can simply type on my keyboard is pop, and this will automatically filter the file name for me. I can simply click on escape and it will go back to the normal state. So I can just try again. Let me try Zorin. So I just type Zorin and it will automatically filter from this list of files within the particular folder I am in, and it will just filter out the particular file. Again, click on escape and you're done. So that way it not only works for the start but anywhere in the middle. For instance, this particular file name has some string in the middle, right? So say I have 501, which is part of the string. If I just type 501 here, it will pull up all the files which have 501 within the file name. So this is a very neat trick to filter out the files as long as I know a part of the string of the file name. This I do not think Windows or any other operating system provides out of box. You can obviously do a normal search that will pull up from the entire list of files and folders you have in the system. This is very much a filter operation on Ubuntu, where you can neatly filter out files from within a folder you are viewing or within a folder you are at that point. So that's number two. Let's move to the third one. So the next one is creating a password protected zip folder or an encrypted folder. So suppose I want to select a couple of images from this folder and just create a password protected zip folder. So what I will do is just search on archive option. So there is something called as archive manager. And what I will do is select the files I need. I can select a bunch of files, drag it and put it inside archive manager, leave it. Once I do that, it will give me an option to create archive. Let me click on this and it will ask me the file name. Let me just put test11. So this is the zip file which will be created with the images which I just put in inside it. The location is downloads, it's completely fine. Here you can actually choose the list of files, where list of file extensions. You can have a zip file, WAV file, 7z file and different others, and based on what kind of extension you have, you can actually password protect it. Now the 7z doesn't allow you to put a password, but if you just select say something as zip, this password field will get automatically activated. Here you can put a password. I think only certain file types allow you to put a password. Let me try a tar file. Okay, tar doesn't as well. I think only zip and a couple of other files allow the encryption option, but anyways, we'll stick with zip file here and I will just put my password. So I will save it and now I'm done. So I created a test11 zip. Now apparently if you double click it, you can still see the files, but the moment you start to double click and open it, it will ask you for the password. So if I give the right password, it will open the image for me. if I don't give a password or don't give the right password. So once it's opened, it will always be open because it's already extracted. But next time I try to close it and reopen it, it will again ask me the password. If I put a wrong password, it will just tell me wrong password. So if you want to extract it again, it needs the password to extract this particular folder. So there's a very neat way or inbuilt option in Ubuntu to password protect a zip folder. It does some level of encryption. I'm not sure what encryption algorithm it uses internally, but there's okay, I think, if you want to just zip some files and send it to somebody over maybe email or something. So that's the third option. And now we move to the fourth one. So the next one is a backup solution. So for that, what I've done is I've already added a external hard drive to my system. Ubuntu has an inbuilt software called as backup. If not, if you're using any other distro other than Ubuntu, maybe it's not pre-installed in your system, you can simply go to the software store of the respective distro and just search for backup. It is already in the Ubuntu repository, so this should be available in any Ubuntu based distro you're using. So this is the backup solution or the backup tool which you're going to use. So if not pre-installed, just simply go and install this. Now once you do that, once you open, first time you will see an option to restore and backup. Now let's go to the backup option. Before we back up the system, what it allows you to select the folders you want to backup. So you can go to the folders to save, and you can actually provide the list of folders you want to save. For instance, here I just wanted to update, or I just wanted to back up my documents, music, pictures and videos, and not the entire folder. Not the entire home folder. You can obviously go and choose the entire home folder if you want. So it completely depends on what you want to back. You can actually go to the granular level and select the only folders you want to back up, or maybe you want to just back up the entire home folder. It's completely up to the user what they want to select. So next is the folders to ignore, where you can select what folders you want to ignore for the backup operation. So here I've put trash and downloads. If I just remove downloads, then only trash. That means trash will not be copied over as a backup. Rest of the other folders will be. So I can simply go and select, say, downloads here. So now I have documents, music, pictures, videos, and downloads as a backup. In my ignore, I only have trash. In my storage location, I can select a particular folder I want to create this backup on. So I can go and select my external hard disk, and within the external hard disk, I have a folder called as lazy backup. So I can actually choose a folder within my hard disk where I want to store the entire backup. So suppose you have a system which is 512 gigs and your hard disk is probably 2 terabytes. So you do not have to dedicate an entire hard disk just for the backup operation. You can just select a folder within the hard disk, and as long as you have the space you need for the system backup, you can simply use that folder to the backup. So you can use the entire hard disk for other operations, storing your other data, your videos and stuff, and you can just select a folder just for the backup purposes. That is extremely helpful. You do not have to dedicate an entire hard disk for the backup. Once you've done that, also the second option, you can go to Google Drive. So if you have maybe space in your Google Drive, maybe you have a subscription model, and you can back up your entire system in the Google Drive as well. So that's a great solution. So you can create a folder within Google Drive and simply go and back up it there. For my case, I will just select a local folder, and then you can schedule it. So you can simply click on automatic backup, and then it will actually give you a day or week option, and then you can keep the backup, like how long you want to keep the backup. So it does an incremental backup. So if you want to restore your a particular file to maybe 2 days back or 3 days back, you can actually do it. So this is really helpful if you go and choose a daily backup and then keep it forever or at least a year. So it will store your backups, like multiple backups for each of the files. So it's not just the latest backup, but you can go and choose the timestamp where you want to go and restore the file. So once I've done all those, I simply click on backup, and this will do a backup, and it will only choose the new files I have in the system. So there's the incremental backup. So I've already backed up my system. So in the details, it will show what are the new files I have, and it will only back up those files, which till date is not there in the backup. Now once the backup is done, you can go and restore a particular file to the previous state. So you can go and select any file in Ubuntu, and there's an option revert to previous version. So this will open up backup as long as you have connected your external hard disk or your Google account. This will open up the backup solution, and it will ask you what version you want to revert to. So as long as you've done regular backups, you can go and select any previous restore point and just to restore this particular file to the previous version. So suppose there's a document and you are daily updating the document. It could be a Word file or any kind of document, and you can actually go and restore back to a previous date or previous timestamp. Let's move on to the next one. Now the next one is pretty straightforward. It is how you can update a Ubuntu system or update your libraries and packages just from the terminal itself. Now if you're using Linux or interested in using Linux, you should not be afraid of terminal. Terminal is kind of your friend here. So what I will do is just open terminal, and here I can simply, without going to the software updates, I can simply check if I have any updated packages in the system, and if yes, I can go and install them. So for that, what I will do is sudo apt update. So this will pull in the list of files which have update, or list of packages which have new versions or updates available. This won't directly install anything, it will just update the metadata information and give you the list of updates you have. So here you can see I have 2 packages which can be updated, right? So what I can do now is sudo apt upgrade. So this will go and install the packages needed. It tells what packages have been updated or restored. So I've already just upgraded my system, so there's nothing much to do. So it tells you like 0 upgraded, 0 newly installed, and 0 removed, and 2 not upgraded. For some reason it couldn't go and upgrade these packages. It could be any dependencies which is probably not available. It could be multiple reasons. But as you can see from here, I can simply do an update and upgrade, and automatically, without going to the software update option, I do it everything from the terminal. You can run both these commands together as well. So you can do a sudo apt update and then followed by sudo apt upgrade. So it will run both the commands together. It will check, and if there is a version available, it will go and upgrade them. Now the third thing after doing the update and the upgrade is you auto remove the packages. Now sometimes after an upgrade operation, there are libraries which are no more used. There are probably some dangling libraries lying here and there. So what you have to do is sudo apt auto remove. So this will remove the unnecessary packages in the system. So here again, my system is completely updated, so I do not have any packages to be removed. So it just didn't do anything. So that's how from the terminal itself you can simply update all your libraries, all your softwares, and all your packages without actually going to the individual softwares or the software repository. And these are the top 5 features or top 5 tools which are inbuilt in Ubuntu or any Linux distro where you can take advantage of these operations. So that's all I had for today. These are the top 5 features which are free and you can use it every day on Ubuntu. Thanks for watching my videos. This is Arindam signing off.